get a good discussion happening. And I think that's it. So it's my pleasure to introduce Stephan Spencer, author of The Art of SEO. He's a really great friend of shop.org. He's always willing to help out. Just did a webinar a few weeks ago, and it was one of the highest ranked webinars we've ever had, and great number of people were there. And it's always a welcome part of our annual summit and all of our events. So Stephan, take it away.
All right, well, good afternoon, folks. So I'm going to try and get the energy up in the room here because we just had lunch, right? I came in at the tail end of Mitch's talk, and you guys seem kind of dead. So I'm not going to take any of that. This is a boot camp, right? Okay, so everybody stand up. I'm serious. Stand up. Come on. You can get moving. No, we're not going to do calisthenics, but I do want you to turn to a neighbor and share with them one thing that you found really valuable about the morning session. Something that's going to make you money next week if you implement it. Go. All right, let's wrap up. You don't have to tell them a treatise, just one tip. All right, go ahead and sit down whenever you're ready. If you're still standing in 5 seconds, you're going to come on stage with me. 1, 2, okay, there we go. All right, so I'm going to really pack in the information here. It's going to be like drinking from a fire hose, Texas style, okay? So we're going to be really cramming it in here. I'm going to cover a ton of stuff, but we're going to keep it interactive because I want you guys to really get this. Not just like intellectually, but emotionally and physically, like in your body. And that's why when you do stuff like you keep your body moving, you occasionally like get up and talk to somebody or whatever, you know, you're re-engaging your body and you're actually really taking it in your body. So I want you guys to really get this stuff hands-on. We're going to actually get interactive, get onto some websites, using some tools, using some really cool new tactics that I think you'll find really valuable. Okay, so just a little bit about me. Right, I'm the founder of Net Concepts, which was acquired by Covario in January. I just finished up there 2 weeks ago, so I'm now a free agent, but I'm also the co-author of this book called The Art of SEO, published by O'Reilly. How many of you guys got a free copy of 6 Pixels of Separation? That is so cool, and I'm so sorry I don't have one for every one of you. It's a great book, trust me, but I wasn't able to bring 100 or 200 copies. But I did bring 2 extra copies. So what I'm going to do is for the very best SEO'd website that we go over, so I'm going to get you guys to volunteer your websites. The very best SEO'd website is going to get a copy of my book. Not that you're going to need it, but I think you'll find it still that it has a really nice look to it on your bookshelf. And then for the most horribly disastrous SEO'd website or anti-SEO'd website, you too will get a copy. So there's your incentive, the best and the worst. If you raise your hand and give your URL and we tear you apart, I mean we give you a very useful critique, you could get a copy of the book. Okay, so besides The Art of SEO, what else have I done? Well, Net Concepts, I started that in 1995, back when, God, that was like internet decades ago, wasn't it? It's just crazy how I remember going to my first conference in 1994. It's called the Second International World Wide Web Conference, and I met some of the guys from Netscape there. I was like, starry-eyed. I was a kid in school. I was studying for a PhD in biochemistry, and I was just mesmerized. I met this guy named Rob McCool. Who knows who Rob McCool is? What an awesome name, Rob McCool. I met him in the speaker lounge. He is the author of Apache, right? The most popular web server software on the planet. And at the time he was working for Netscape. I was just like, wow, I'd never even heard of Netscape before, and I went to this conference. So really cool stuff. I dropped out of my PhD, started Net Concepts, started as a web agency, but then over time became more and more specialized in SEO and doing SEO for over 10 years. So also just kind of in the middle of all this, I decided I'm going to move to New Zealand. So in 1999 I picked up and moved to New Zealand, my kids and my wife at the time, and had a blast, lived there for almost 8 years. Founded a branch of Net Concepts called Net Concepts Limited, very creative name, I know. And it was a block from the beach, and we worked on websites and SEO for a lot of U.S. companies, but in the comfort of this office by the beach. So it was really cool. And I also invented a technology called Gravity Stream, which is now called Organic Search Optimizer. It's part of Cavaria's suite of offerings, and allowed me to do essentially cost per click SEO, do it on a performance basis, and then basically do things that weren't possible without having to do major invasive surgery to the underlying e-commerce platform, actually do it at a proxy layer. So that was fun times. Now, this SEO stuff it really is accessible. It's something that even a kid can do, right? So there's my daughter, one of my daughters. She's, I think at the time when that photo was taken, she was 16. She's 19 now. She started when she was 14 years old, right? So she's been making money using SEO since she was, I think she started getting her first checks from Google, or first direct deposits from Google when she was 15, right? So if a kid can do it, so can you, right? And the way that she monetized SEO was by, signing up with Google AdSense. So you can see that, right at the very bottom of the scroll there's a Google ad, and there are a few others. There's a AdSense block right there of ads. And every time somebody clicks on one of those ads, she would get, money. She'd get paid for that. So, not huge income, but it'd be, hundreds of dollars in a month, which is pretty good for a kid, right? Better than a paper route, better than babysitting. So, what I'm trying to say here is that this is something that you can do without having to try and move mountains at your organization. You can just get your hands dirty, doing some stuff on your own, test some things out, and as you work on moving that monolithic company that you work for, also realize that there are a lot of nimble affiliates and internet marketers out there who are making piles of money just with content sites, with online communities, with dropship-based e-commerce sites, just a range of different kinds of websites. And you can play in that space too, just to kind of get your feet wet. You can, in 5 minutes, literally 5 minutes, you can start a blog, right? And it doesn't have to be go through all sorts of red tape with your organization. It's just like you starting a personal blog on whatever topic that you're an expert on. Just getting your name out there, getting familiar with the blogosphere. You can do it in 5 minutes. Go to WordPress.com, sign up for a free account, and then pay the $10 or $20 a year to get a premium account where you can associate a domain name with that blog. So it's not just something.wordpress.com, but it's actually your domain.com or .org, whatever. All right? So strongly encourage you to do that. But just to get things, get you oriented here, I think a great way to do that is to, rather than kind of give you a primer on SEO, and then there's 3 pillars to SEO: content, architecture, and links, and we're going to delve into each one. I think it's going to be much more accessible for you if we just pick a website that's super popular. We were just talking about WordPress.com, so what the heck? Let's pull up WordPress.com and tear it apart. This is one of the most popular websites on the planet. You know, according to like Alexa rankings, it's in the top 20. According to the number of links pointing to that site, it's like number 20 or 21, something like that. So it's doing pretty well. But there's a lot that could be done to tweak this in terms of SEO. So let's have a look. It's PageRank 9. We've got a ton of importance sitting on that home page, and yet it's a huge missed opportunity. But how? How is it a missed opportunity? Let's dig in. So this is the home page. Let's first focus on the navigation, because when you have a really powerful home page, lots of PageRank, lots of link authority, right? So lots of really great links pointing to that home page. You want to spend that PageRank really as efficiently and effectively as possible. Right? So you want your featured products. You want your most popular products and categories, the keywords that you most care about, to all be featured on that home page with those as text links. If you are a retailer of household goods and furnishings and so forth, you want to pick your top categories that you're after. Make sure that the right keywords are present in the anchor text, the underlying words of those links, and feature those on the home page. Not way at the bottom in the footer where they get discounted, but prominent enough that it's clear they're there for users as well as spiders. So this navigation I find to be really, really weak. Okay, so this is as focused, this particular homepage is as focused on random content of the moment as it is on major categories. I'd say it's more so focused on random content of the moment. What a shame, what a missed opportunity, because they could be flowing PageRank to really, really important category level pages, tag pages, and yet they're sending it to just random content, like Mango Weka Airport for kids of all ages. Like, okay, how important is it to rank #1 for Mango Weka Airport? I'm sure for a small fraction of time there they were #1, you know, but who's searching for that? If you scroll down, remember the footer navigation doesn't get a lot of credit, not as much as if it's high up in the page and clearly there for users as well. So the footer links, you know, I'm not crazy over in the first place, but these aren't even good footer links. From an SEO standpoint, do you really want to rank for VIP hosting? I mean, who's searching for that? If you're searching for blog hosting or website hosting or web hosting, okay, those are some valuable terms that people are really searching for. I'm not searching for VIP hosting. I don't know that anybody else is. So that's probably a missed opportunity there if they wanted to rank for something more of a popular term like web hosting. Free features, forums. What kind of forums? Right? So what kind of features? Do you really want to rank #1 for features or for free features? Who's searching for that? It's not your target market. Right? So pretty weak. Contrast that with Yahoo's homepage, where you can clearly say they have put some thought into their navigation structure. They're going after personals and shopping and sports and weather and travel. Fantastic, right? And guess how they're doing for these sorts of terms? Let's have a look. Personals. Well, that's not bad, right? So there they are with 2 listings. So yahoo.match.com and dir.yahoo.com and another dir.yahoo.com. Oh, no, wait a minute. We're still going. Help.yahoo.com, help.yahoo.com. Are we seeing a trend here? Seems to be working for them. So let's get back to WordPress.com. There's a link to take you to a big directory of tags. Tags are like categories, but they're more fluid. So you don't have to really think through a category hierarchy and really hold to it. You can be more flexible and just think, oh, well, you know what, let's add another keyword here. Let's tweak this category, because it really allows for more free-form entering of keywords. And these are the most popular tags that are used on WordPress.com. The unfortunate thing about it is that many of these words are not terms that they should or will rank for. For example, let's see, how about home, or 2010, or updates, right? Those are not good keywords to be chasing after. So if they're going to have a long page of links, and these are text links, so this could be a good opportunity for them. It's a page that's linked to from their home page, so it's just one click away from the home page, has a ton of link authority still. And here they're linking to things with 2010 and updates and friends as, you know, do they really deserve a top ranking for the word friends in Google? No. So this needs an overhaul. It doesn't have to be the most popular tags according to number of uses. It could be our favorite tags. In other words, the tags we most want to rank for. Okay? This happens all the time. Our featured products are the ones we most want to rank for. They're not the ones that are our top sellers. So what is the keyword focus of this particular page? Back to the home page here. What's the keyword focus? What is this page singing to the search engines about? Right, you should have one or several keyword foci, keyword themes that you're chasing after for a particular page, and the home page is the most important page. This is a ripe opportunity to rank for pretty much anything with the kind of authority that this page has. The page rank 9, I mean, it's just massive, right? Do you know PageRank is logarithmic in scale? Meaning that it goes like a hockey stick up, right? Going from 0 to 1 is just like well, microscopic movement. Going from a 1 to a 2, you know, maybe you can see it, but going from a 4 to a 5, massively huge in comparison, right? But then going from, let's say, a 5 to a 6, massively huger in comparison again. So as you get closer to 10, those gaps get bigger and bigger between the integers. PageRank 9, in other words, is incredibly massive. And a 5, if you've got a PageRank 5, who has a PageRank 5 homepage? Okay? So that's not middle of the road. That's really, really low in comparison to like a 7 or an 8. So this PageRank 9 is really super powerful. Yet they're not really singing to the search engines for anything in particular. I'd say the closest thing they'd be ranking or chasing after for a generic keyword other than their brand name is free blog, because the title tag says WordPress.com, get a free blog here. So I don't see that phrase mentioned elsewhere in the copy. So they're not reinforcing what this page is about, that it's about free blog. And also there are probably other terms that would be more advantageous for them to chase after. Who's used the Google AdWords keyword tool? Okay. Now this tool is a little bit tricky for in terms of SEO, because a lot of people misuse it. It's actually built primarily for paid search, right? For doing PPC. So when you select, well, first of all, when you put in a keyword, it's going to give you by default a whole bunch of other suggestions back that do not include the keyword you typed in. You can switch that feature off up in the advanced settings. But let me also point another thing out. All these numbers are wrong. They're very wrong. So you can see here, blog, according to this screenshot, 45 million searches locally, 101 million searches globally per month. Wow. Who would have thunk it? People typing in the word blog, 101 million a month? Well, it's bogus. It's completely bogus. The truth is, it's somewhere around 2 million. How did I get that? How did I get a more accurate number? Let's actually look at the tool. Google AdWords keyword tool. You guys can follow along if you got a laptop. We're going to pick the first result here. Not the paid result, the natural one. Prove you're human. Oh. Okay, so let's put in a keyword. I'm going to put in blog. Remember I said under advanced options, you can tell it to only include search terms that include the keyword that you typed in. So let's do that. Go ahead and tick this box, this radio button, ideas containing my search terms. Go ahead and hit search. Something interesting just happened. A match type little chooser thing showed up underneath the category list. Do you see that? Match types, broad, exact, and phrase. Who knows what broad match is? Okay, for those of you who don't, let me give you an example. You buy the keyword shoes. You're an online retailer of shoes, okay? So you buy the keyword shoes on broad match. That means you're going to match on anything where the word shoes is included in the term, in the query, including brake shoes, snowshoes, horseshoes, free shoes, used shoes, and all sorts of other garbage terms that you don't want. You want to negative all those out, right? So you want to put a list together. This is your negative keywords list of words like free and used and horse and snow and brake, right? From an SEO standpoint, this is really not what we want. We don't want to see broad match. We don't want to type in the word shoes and get a combination of not just the word shoes, but also brake shoes, horseshoes, snowshoes, free shoes, used shoes, etc. We don't want all that combined together and showing up under the word shoes, right? Because that's like nonsense. That's not going to help us from an SEO standpoint. We're not doing broad match with SEO. Turn off broad match. Untick that and tick exact instead. Who does this? Okay, all of you should be raising your hands because this is so critically important. If you don't do this, this tool is useless from an SEO standpoint because you are getting completely bogus numbers. See what happened? My global searches for the word blog went from, what was it? 55 million to 1.2 million. Oh, by the way, you can sort by the global monthly searches or local monthly searches, which isn't by default. Just click on the heading for that particular column. All right? Because it doesn't default to that. I did a search for the word blog, and you can see how WordPress.com does. It's not great. I'm sure they're feeling pretty good about it because they're on page 1 above the fold. However, the click-through rates for position 5 and below are pretty bad. It's about 40% for being number 1, about 10% for number 2, about 9% for number 3, and about 5% for number 4. So just going from number 1 to dropping to number 2, that will cost you a 4x loss in traffic, or a differential in the click-throughs that you would have gotten from search, from Google. That's got to hurt. This is the Yahoo Site Explorer tool. Who's used this tool? Okay, well, you're shortly now going to be able to also say that you have, because we're going to go to Site Explorer.search.yahoo.com. Or just search Google for Yahoo Site Explorer. Either way. Now we're going to put in a URL. I'll do WordPress.com. We're going to explore the URL. By default, it's going to jump to the number of pages indexed in Bing, because, of course, Bing is what powers Yahoo now. Which isn't really that interesting to me. What I came here for was the inlinks. So click on the inlinks tab. Now, these are links pointing to the homepage of WordPress.com. However, it includes links that are internal links, like their About Us page or their Contact Us page links to their homepage. I don't really care about that. I want to see inlinks from out there on the web. So we're going to exclude internal links by choosing except from this domain, from that little pull-down list. Okay? Did you see how that changed the number of inlinks pretty significantly? So they could have been feeling really good that they've got 43 million inlinks. That's pretty impressive, but it's actually a lot less than that, because that included all the internal links. The inbound links from outside, from external link sources, 13 million. Another thing we want to do is we want to choose, instead of only this URL, the entire site. I want to see inbound links that are to deep pages as well as the home page. Okay? So we're going to switch to entire site, and the number of links goes way up, because, of course, lots of people are linking to blog posts and category pages and tag pages and so forth deep within WordPress.com into various people's blogs. Okay? So that's 230 million now, because we included deep links. So now, when you're using a tool like this on your site, on your competitor's site, this is great from a competitive intelligence standpoint at seeing where your competitors are getting their best links. Because maybe you could get links from some of those same places, right? Who's done that? Who's looked at your competitors' inbound links and found some really good opportunities in there? Yep. But one thing that you'll find is that WordPress.com gets a lot of link authority from its sister site, WordPress.org. Because it's a different domain. When I choose except from this domain, it does not filter that out. So the sister site still gets included in the list. But even though Google is smart enough to know that those sites are related and owned by the same folks, it's part of the same network, they still get a lot of juice out of that link from WordPress.org. Let's have a look at what WordPress.org's homepage looks like. Now, they do link to the WordPress.com homepage, and they do it from high up in the page. You can see right here, get a free blog on WordPress.com. That's the anchor text. So if they wanted to rank for free blog, that's not a bad text link. Be more focused if they just made the phrase free blog the link to WordPress.com. But no, they made get a free blog on WordPress.com a less focused link. So what could be done differently here? Well, you have to look at the HTML code to get the insight into what's really going on here. Because it looks good just at first blush. It doesn't look most optimal, but it looks pretty good. It's a text link. It's high up in the page. It's got the word blog in there. It's got the phrase free blog. Not bad. Yeah, well, there's more to the story. When you view the source, simply go to the View menu, right? So File, Edit, View. Go to View, and then Source, or Page Source, depending on what your browser is. Very simple. Now you can look at the HTML code, including the meta tags that they have, and other things that will not display on the rendered page. So now we're looking at the code, and lo and behold, that link points not to the WordPress.com homepage. No, that actually points to a sign-up page. Oops. What's worse yet is they've included a tracking code in that URL. See that? Ref equals WordPress.com, WordPress.org. So they've added that as a parameter at the end of the URL. This is a unique URL now, which is essentially creating duplicate content and PageRank dilution for WordPress.com. Do you see that, how that's working? So if I did ref equals, howdy Matt Mullenweg, then that would create a new unique URL. When Googlebot finds that link to that URL, they're going to follow that, and if it's not properly redirected, here's another page that looks surprisingly similar to another sign-up page on WordPress.com. See how that works? So we need to make sure that they're doing a proper kind of redirect, collapsing those variants together and having one version. And if you want to get really geeky, you can call it the canonical version, because that's what Google engineers refer to it as. The canonical version is that one true definitive version, that sign-up page that's the main one. Not the duplicates, not all the copies that have not nearly as many links. So we're going to use a tool now called SEO Browser. Who's ever used this tool? Okay, just a couple of you. This is a free tool. Just go to SEO-browser.com. Yes, go ahead, do that. This is the audience interaction part. Okay, so it's SEO-browser.com. The URL I'm going to put in there is wordpress.com/signup/ref equals wordpress.org. You can put in any URL if you want. And we're going to click on the Advanced button, because the Advanced button gives us some additional insight that the simple result doesn't show. For Pete's sake. Yeah, they did. That's kind of evil. You are evil. Oh, great. Okay, I'm going to teach you another thing. It's called mailinator.com. This is if you really don't want to talk to somebody again and they ask you for your email address and you feel kind of obligated, make something up. And if you need to get an email from them and then never talk to them again, this is great for like white papers and stuff. Crap. Yeah. Okay, so I just made up an email address, right? So bullcrap@mailinator.com. So I'm going to go ahead. Actually, you can just make these up on the fly, right? So you say, oh, yeah, sure, email me at, I don't know, billionaire@mailinator.com. Right? And you can actually check the email account at that email address you just made up. You just go to mailinator.com and then just put in billionaire. Right? And it will show you the inbox. Oh, there's no messages. But wait, there might be in just a minute. Oh. Yeah. Okay. Well, anyways, let's go back to the screenshot. This was a really useful tool until they commercialized it. So you can see here the response code. I was in advanced mode. And so I got response codes back. I didn't just see what the page kind of looked like to a spider in terms of the text and the alt attributes of the images and so forth. That's interesting. But I also wanted to see the kind of hidden behind the scenes stuff that was happening between the web browser and the web server. So there's this interaction going on, and if a error page is being served up, what happens behind the scenes is that your web server serves up a 404 status code. This is not something that you see. You might see an oops page. Oops, this page doesn't exist, or it'll say whatever it wants. Sometimes it'll actually say 404 on the page itself, but that doesn't matter. What matters is the status code that is sent before the HTML code, which you don't see. That's why you need a tool like SEO Browser, or you can use a server header checker. Right, so let me show you a server header checker. I'm just going to search Google for server header checker, and yes, go ahead and do this. And I'm going to pick one. Oh, let's use Aaron Wall's one, that tools.seo book one. Okay. WordPress.com/signup/ref equals wordpress.org. Ready? We're going to check headers. Here we go. Okay, so this is a big problem. Who sees the big problem? Anyone? Anyone? Bueller? Bueller? No, the 301's good. What's bad and what's bad here? The 302 right after it. Exactly. Like, how brain dead was that? All right, so they 301 properly to a 302. Okay, so you might be thinking, what the heck? Why should I care about this? Well, something as simple as having the wrong kind of redirect can cost you a lot of traffic and sales, because a lot of your page rank is flowing in to a wrong location. Let me show you another one. Totally different example here. Searching for the word women, you can see that iVillage ranks really, really well. Actually, when I last checked a few months ago, it was #1. iVillage was #1 for the word women. And at the time, the word women did not appear anywhere in the body copy. It wasn't in the title tag. It was nowhere on that homepage. Well, I'll correct that. I'll say it was one place. It was in the meta description, which does not help your rankings. So the only place the word women ever appeared on the homepage was in a place that didn't count for rankings. How did that work? Anyone want to hazard a guess on how this strange magic appeared to? Yep. Anchor text. Yep. Yep. So how was it that they got such amazing link authority from with the word women in it? Yeah. They bought women.com. Thank you very much. Okay, so back in 2001, I think, they bought their arch rival, women.com, and then they redirected it. Check this out. We're going to use the status code checker here on women.com. Because think of all those amazing links that point to women.com. There's got to be a lot of them, right? And it's a 301. That's awesome. Except, does anybody see something wrong with this? I'm highlighting it just so you know. Strong hint here. Anyone see anything wrong with this redirect? Anything wrong with the redirect? Yes, the parameter at the end. They didn't link to the home page of iVillage. They linked with a tracking parameter. They created a duplicate homepage. So unless the search engines are adequately collapsing duplicates and dealing with, figuring out the canonicalization issues here, this could be really bad. I mean, it could be that they scrape by having a canonical tag in their HTML, right? So you look at the duplicate version of the iVillage homepage, and it says rel canonical, www.ivillage.com. In which case they're saved because most of the time Google respects and obeys the canonical tag and collapses those duplicates together. But if they didn't, then this is a costly mistake. But even so, they still benefited greatly with that 301 redirect because it sends that page rank to the iVillage site, which then passes around to all sorts of other pages on the site because it's a duplicate copy of their homepage. They're still linking to the true copy of their homepage. They're linking to all their category pages. They're linking to all their top content that's featured on the homepage. So you can see that that purchase of women.com was really, really valuable just in the page rank and the link authority that they were able to leverage from that acquisition, right? But if they did a proper kind of redirect, send it to the right place, that could be the difference between them ranking number 1 or number 3 for such a generic word as the word women. But I mean, unless you see a lot of value in ranking for the word women, it's not about that. It's about the rising tide that lifts all boats. It's about all the different terms that they're chasing after with the homepage and with other key pages of their site. And when you flow a torrent of additional page rank to your site, that's going to lift all of that stuff in the rankings. See how that works? What would be a better way to do the redirect? Well, you would do a direct redirect to the iVillage homepage without the tracking parameter. If you absolutely have to have the tracking parameter in there for whatever reason, like you're going to get fired if you don't, then do another 301 redirect right after that to the homepage. So it's a small chain. Don't do a big chain of redirects like 301, 301, 301, 301, 301. But 2 in a row, that's okay. So a redirect to the the parameter tracking URL, and then drop that parameter and do another immediate 301 redirect to the canonical URL. Yeah, the one without anything after the .com. Good question. Right, so also it turns out that on the WordPress.com example, there is no canonical link. Right? There's no rel equals canonical in the HTML code that collapses the duplicate. So there's no redirect to the, no 301 redirect in this second part of the chain. It's a 302, so that kills off the flow of PageRank. And there's no canonical tag. Yes, question? Yep. So the question was, if they bought other domains, could they do that also with those other domains if they bought like girls.com or whatever? Absolutely. Yep. And the anchor text would get inherited as well, because it was the anchor text in the links pointing to women.com that gave iVillage that boost. It got them on the top of page, near the top of page 1 in that term for the term women. So if they bought girls.com and then 301 redirected properly, then yeah, they'd start ranking really well for girls, even if they didn't have the word girls on the homepage. Yep, good question. So the SEO power of WordPress.com really lies within their community. There's just a huge amount of content on WordPress.com. So we want to kind of dig in there and see how they're leveraging all that wonderful community, all that wonderful user-generated content. So let's, what I did here was a site colon search. Who's done a site colon search on Google? Okay, so who has not? Let's ask that question. Okay, for those of you who haven't, we're all going to do this. Site colon www. Oh, actually, this is WordPress.com. They don't do www. Site:/WordPress.com. And that'll capture all the subdomains. If we did it with www, like let's do www.ivillage.com. Right, so that would capture just the www subdomain. If we leave out the www, I'm now going to do a search for site:/ivillage.com. You see how that's including now subdomains such as ivillageindex.ivillage.com and health.ivillage.com and love.ivillage.com. See how that worked? So you leave off the subdomain, and then it's going to show all subdomains. This is just showing results from that site. Okay? So site:/www.ivillage.com shows about 80,000 results. These are all pages on the www.ivillage.com site that are in Google's index. This is a very inaccurate, really rough number. It's not very accurate at all. Okay, so here's another trick since we're talking about site:/. If you needed to find sites that are .coms that have the word, I don't know, women in them, you could do site:/com and then your search term, like women. And you too could learn how to shower. Like, what the heck? So much garbage on YouTube. Okay, so what if we wanted, let's do a more practical search using this trick. Let's say we were looking for sites that are, or organizations, let's say organizations that are looking for or have sponsors or donors or patrons. So we want to sponsor a nonprofit organization, hopefully get a link out of it. Not that it's self-serving or anything, but, you know, what a great little trick for doing link building, right? You're looking for opportunities that are .orgs where they have a page with sponsors or donors or patrons on it. Even better, what if they have a sponsors page? So in title, :sponsors, or in title, :donors, or in title, :patrons. What that's going to show me is it has to be a .org, and it has to have the word donors or patrons or sponsors in the title of the page. So the page is probably a list of their donors, right? I mean, it could very well be a page about how to be a donor. We're looking for opportunities where it's a .org. They probably have a page dedicated to their donors or patrons or sponsors with probably a list, and hopefully that list of donors includes links to each one of their sites. So back to the WordPress.com thing. So we're going to do a site: search on WordPress.com. We're going to pick one of the many subdomains under WordPress.com, one of these many blogs. I think there are something like 18 million blogs on WordPress.com. Let's pick, eatingbirdfood.wordpress.com. Okay, so now I did a search for site:/eatingbirdfood.wordpress.com. That's going to show me only pages from that subdomain that are in Google's index. Let's pick page from the list, okay? Let's pick this About Me page. All right, so eatingbirdfood.wordpress.com/about, and I'm checking the server headers, and it turns out there's a 302 from eatingbirdfood.wordpress.com about to eatingbirdfood.com/about. Anyone see a problem with that? The answer is yes, yes. Okay, it's a 302. 302s do not pass PageRank. Only 301 redirects. Right? So the 301 redirect is the good kind of redirect. That passes all that link juice. The 302, bad. It's a temporary kind of redirect. Google does not give it that same level of permanence and importance that a 301 redirect has. I mean, it makes sense, too, because a temporary redirect tends to be used for like throwing in a session ID into a URL, right, or adding a click tracking capability to like an ad click. So that's a temporary redirect. That's something that we don't necessarily trust is going to be there 2 minutes later. It may go to a completely different URL 2 minutes later. So that's why Google does not pass PageRank for 302, only 301. So this is really bad. I mean, this is kind of down in the details, but this is costing them a lot of money. A lot of money. Because all those blogs that are at the blogger's domain name, the redirect is set up, but it's the wrong kind of redirect, so it's not collapsing all that wonderful link juice, all those votes, all those links. It's not collapsing them together to one definitive version. It's splitting them up. It's like, you know, who would have won the presidential election? Would it have been Obama if there were 5 exact duplicates of Obama and you had to pick one of them? It would have been a different election. So this is just costing them a lot of money. Now, we don't want to get suckered into some of this SEO mythology that's out there. How many of you have heard from folks in the last year that you guys should be, or somebody should be, working on meta keywords tags? Who's heard that recently? Yeah. That's a horrible idea because you get no rankings improvement from that. In fact, it's never been a signal. Never, ever in Google's existence have they counted the meta keywords tag as a positive ranking signal. Never. So there are a lot of myths out there. I actually wrote a really interesting article series about all these myths. It's on searchengineland.com. So there's a couple of links, or you can just search for SEO myths. And it's a series on searchengineland.com. There he goes, 36 SEO myths that won't die but need to. Oh, look who wrote that. Okay, so now we're going to pick some of your sites. And we're going to use a few of the tools that we just used. We're going to use some new tools. And we're going to find some really great opportunities for those brave volunteers who give me your URL. Okay. Let's start with you. JavelinGroup.com. All right, so what happens if I leave off the www? Will it redirect? Oh, not yet. Okay. But by the end of the day, right? What's that? No, it doesn't. Yeah. But you're going to make a call during the break, right? Yeah, okay. I'm going to follow up with you. So do you see why this is a problem? I mean, it could be that Google figured it out and is collapsing the two versions together, but can you see how this could be a problem? This could be confusing. Some people link to your www.javelingroup.com. Some of you link to javelingroup.com without the www. Bloggers are lazy, right? So if they can avoid a few extra keystrokes, I mean, why wouldn't they, right? So now they're linking to another version that looks awfully similar to the www version. Two versions in Google's index, some number of links pointing to one version, some number of links pointing to the other. That's a bad equation. Okay. Now, another thing I'm going to have a quick look for is I'm going to see if I still stay on that non-www version of the site or if all the other links are properly canonicalized. So let's pick one. Retail strategy. And nope, it hasn't gone to www. So not only is this a duplicate homepage in the eyes of the search engines, but it's an entire copy of your website. It can just have a field day going through page after page after page, clicking through links and finding an entire copy of your site at javelingroup.com. And but wait, there's more. If I click on the home page, you're sorry that you see what you get when you volunteer? Oh, keep it coming. All right. Glutton for punishment. Okay. Click on the home button, which is your logo, and it takes you to yet another copy of your home page. This one's at index.html. So I'm counting 4 copies of your home page. One at www.javelingroup.com/, another one at javelingroup.com/, another one at javelingroup.com/index.html, and there will be another one at www.javelingroup.com/index.html. See that? 4 copies. Okay, let's keep digging. Let's go to your expertise about it's across channels. We're on the across channels page. Now this is a really cool looking mouse over thing, right? The old mouse over nav. And it looks like these are text links. But are they? Let's check. So I'm going to try and highlight some of the text here. Yeah. And see how I can highlight part of the word? I can highlight the first few letters of the word store in that link. Clearly that's a text link. That's a good thing, right? Image links, even if you have alt attributes, are not as powerful as text links. If you have a text link with the words store retailing, that's much better than if it was a graphic that had an alt attribute that said store retailing. First of all, the graphic itself can't be read. Google's not going to OCR the text in that graphic. And if there's an alt attribute there, it's not given as much weight because it's not as trusted. You can hide all sorts of keywords in an alt attribute, make it really long, and that looks kind of spammy. You might get dinged for it. You might get a penalty for it. But it's not as human accessible, and therefore it's not given as much weight. Right, so now I'm going to do something that is available in all your browsers. I just happen to be using the Safari browser. I'm going to turn off JavaScript. It's really simple. There's a little tick box that allows you to enable or disable JavaScript. So I just disabled JavaScript. What I'm trying to see here is if I reload the page, will that nav still work? If the mouse over nav no longer functions, that means it was based on, it relied on JavaScript, and therefore, because the search engines oftentimes do not execute JavaScript, it would not follow those links, or it may not follow links. There are exceptions to this, but it's always better to have a CSS-based mouse over nav than requiring JavaScript. Just remember, JavaScript bad. From an SEO standpoint, JavaScript equals bad. Well, the good news here is that the nav still works. So it's not based on JavaScript. It doesn't require JavaScript. It's based on CSS. Good for you. I'm going to turn JavaScript back on. Yes? Yep. Will what? Yeah, the canonical tag will probably fix it. But I've found plenty of occasions where the canonical tag doesn't fix it. So Google doesn't always obey it. There's inconsistencies. There are times when it should be obeying it and it doesn't, because you can see in the search results there are multiple copies, and there shouldn't be because there's canonical tag present. And you view the cache version of the page in Google, and that has the canonical tag in it as well. So it's not like the canonical tag was just added an hour ago and Google hasn't noticed it yet. No, it noticed it, and it just chose for whatever reason to ignore it. So I'm not 100% sold on the canonical tag. Let's put it that way. Okay. So let's go to Firefox. Who uses Firefox? Good. I love the extensions in Firefox. I'm going to go to javelingroup.com in Firefox, and I'm going to turn off not just JavaScript, but check this out. This is the Web Developer extension. It's a free Firefox extension. It's called Web Developer, and this extension allows me to turn on and off all sorts of things, not just JavaScript. And look how easy it is to turn off JavaScript. Boom, it's off. Isn't that cool? We can turn off cookies because, of course, Googlebot does not support cookies. No more cookies. Does the page still work? Yes. Hooray. Turn off CSS. Watch this. Turn off all styles. And there's the page without the pretty CSS rendering. That gives us a good sense of what the search engines are looking at, right? Even better, I can turn off image loading and just say, show me the alt attributes. Right, so I turned off image loading, and I can turn off the CSS as well. Boom. See that? And these are images, the alt attributes of those images. Isn't that cool? So this gives you just a really quick sense of how meaty of a page is this home page in the sense of what are the spiders able to extract out of it. Now, the most important element on the page is the title tag. So we want to make sure that that's good. And that's way up at the top above the location bar, above the URL, above the home and back buttons and all that. Do you see what that says? It says Retail and E-commerce Consultants. Javelin Group is Europe's leading specialist firm of retail and e-commerce consultants, Javelin Group. That sounds spammy. That sounds like a lot of keywords, and I would cut it down by half. The fewer words you have in the title tag, the more focused that title tag is on the remaining words. If you really, really want to rank for, I don't know, European e-commerce consultants, well, for one thing, you need to have the word European in the title, and you need to have it as a phrase, European e-commerce consultants, and you need to lead with those words. And then the fewer other words you have after that, the more focused it is on those few words, right? So if you have European e-commerce consultants, Javelin Group is Europe's leading specialist firm, and we love to take your money, and here's our phone number, and call us sometime, and we're Javelin Group. That's not such a good title tag, right? It'd be even worse if you started with all that stuff, all the fluff, and then at the very end of the title tag is where you put e-commerce, the European e-commerce consultants phrase that you were chasing after. This is low-hanging fruit, right? The title tags are oftentimes the easiest things to correct, and it's the highest value, most impactful on-page element on the page. So why wouldn't you do that? A great way to kind of turn this into an action that you can take back to your team and say, get onto this, or you can start it yourself, is get an export of all of your title tags across your site. Okay. If you don't have a way to do this, then use a web-based tool that spiders through your site and extracts all the title tags. But if you have a list of all your title tags, and let's say it's in a spreadsheet, so it was exported by your IT person, pulled out of the database and put into like a CSV file, comma separated values file, Now you got it in Excel, right? You got the ID number of the product or whatever, you've got the URL for that product, and you've got the title tag. Now you create a new field or a new column, new title tag, new and improved kick-ass title tag, right? That's what you're going to work on, is cranking through writing all these great title tags or optimizing the title tags further. Even if they're pretty good, you can make them better, right? And if it's all in one spreadsheet, then this is so efficient for you to just bang through, 1,000 title tags. Give it to your intern, right? Really make them sorry they work for you. But this is a high-value activity. It's the title tag. It's given a lot of weight. And you're doing it in a very efficient fashion with all of the title tags all in one place. And in one spreadsheet, you can just bang through a whole bunch of them in one sitting. Okay. Now, there's one other thing I'll show you with this web developer extension. I'm going to turn off all these things I disable. I'm going to re-enable everything here. Okay. All better. There's one other thing I want to show you. This is really cool. It's under the Information tab. It's View Link Information. Look at that. Isn't that cool? It counted all the links on your home page and then put a nice list together for you. You look very greedy. Greedy. You look greedy, according to this link information. You're not linking out to anybody, only yourself. So, yeah, that doesn't look like you're kind of a sharing member of the web community. Come into my parlor, said the spider to the fly, right? No, you can't come out again. This is all about you. All right, let's pick another site. Our next volunteer. Okay, in the back there. Yes. What is it? Charming Charlie. No, that's actually a bad sign. That you're not linking out shows that you're greedy and kind of self-interested from an SEO standpoint. Right? So who does a lot of that? Spammers. Right? Spammers will only link to stuff that's self-serving, their own stuff. It may be on different domain names, but Google's smart enough to figure out the network that they control, not just that single domain name, but all the sites that they own and control. So when they're not linking out ever to anybody else, that's not a good sign. That's not to say that if you are linking out that you need to link out more and more and more. It's not like, okay, I'm linking out to my industry association, I'm linking to the relevant category page in Open Directory or whatever. I need to add 5 more outlinks. No. It's not about that. It's just you don't want to look super greedy because that doesn't send the right signal to Google. Yeah. Thanks for asking for that clarification. Yeah, you bet. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is just a quick little trick. I just highlight everything on the page with, if you're on the Mac, it's Command A. If you're on a PC, it's Control A. That's just a shortcut for Select All. Right? So that's under the Edit menu, Select All. And when I select all, it gives me a sense for what's text and what's graphic. This works better in some other browsers. Let's try this in Firefox. Charming Charlie. And what I want to get a sense for is what's text and what's graphic. Because if it's graphic, then it's not as accessible to the spiders, right? You can see very clearly here that the top nav is text. It would have highlighted differently if I did a select all and those were all graphics. You can see, though, that the main image there, this is a graphic, and all that text in there is part of the graphic. So it's not readable by the spiders. Another thing that you can do if you're not sure, because I'm not sure about this text inside of here, this could actually be a widget or an iframe, in which case it won't count. It's Flash or Flash, yes. So one way I can do this, just to check, I'm going to pick a word from here, soft brass. View, page source, Command F for find, soft brass. And that was not a good sound. That was the eh. I'm not finding that sound. Okay? So what that means is that's inaccessible potentially to the spiders. It may be, you know, if it's Flash, right, so like just one of these SWF files. So if it's Flash, then Google could conceivably get to that content, but it's not going to be as good as if it was text. Even though Google says that we can index Flash content and get to the text and the links a lot of times in Flash movies, by putting it inside of Flash, you have made it, you've made it less accessible to the spiders, and you've removed semantic markup. Semantic markup is really important. Semantic as in, this gives clues as to what these bits of content are about. This over here, this is the title tag. This over here, this is bold. This is italics. All that's gone. When you've put all that content into a Flash movie, you've removed one of the best things about HTML is the hypertext markup. That's semantic markup. That's gone. So it won't do as well. Okay, back to Control A or Command A. You can see that this is text down here. Looks like you did a little bit of SEO copy down there. You know, just kind of made sure to get your keywords in there and all that. Problem with it, and that's fine, but it's not as good as if you integrated it into the main part of the page. Google is smart enough to realize that that's not really meant for humans nearly as much as what's above the fold. It's kind of tucked away, way down the page, and you know, if there were text links in here, which doesn't appear to be, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, that's a text link. That kind of looks like a hidden link. That's a little bit evil looking. Yeah, it's not even, you should make it underlined, or at least have it underlined when you hover over it. But I'd say just underline it, just in general. Even if it's a hover link where you hover over it and then it looks clickable because the underline shows up then, that still looks kind of like a hidden link. I definitely would be very concerned if you were doing that in the body of this first paragraph here, where like fashion jewelry and handbags and those were also links. That would look like, you know, penalty material. Let's have a look at your in links. We haven't done that for a little while here. siteexplorer.search.yahoo.com. Yahoo likes you to log in. So go ahead and humor them. You don't have to have a paid account, it's just your Yahoo account. charmingcharlie.com. All right, so go to the InLinks tab. Exclude internal links and add deep links. Okay. 1,196. That's not great. It's definitely room for improvement there. 1,000 links is better than no links, but it doesn't really show a lot of importance. It's not a numbers game here, but the fact that you have so few links doesn't send a very strong signal to Google that you're an important website. Now, if we also check your PageRank score in the Google toolbar, say I moused over the toolbar PageRank meter, and it says 3 out of 10. Bear in mind that the toolbar PageRank is kind of bogus. There's a random number generator in there, I'm certain of it. It's just, they're messing with our heads over at the Googleplex. So don't put a whole lot of stock in the 3, but when you see that you only have 1,000 links on Yahoo Site Explorer and you use other tools that show backlinks, things like your Google Webmaster Tools account shows that you don't have a lot of inbound links. Open Site Explorer shows you don't have a whole lot of links. You probably do have a 3, or something similar. With this tool, you can export to a TSV file, tab-separated values. So you just click on this TSV link, and it will download to your computer a TSV file of the 1,000 results, the first 1,000 results, which isn't everything, but it's most of everything for you. So that's a starting point where you can pull it into a spreadsheet, then go through it and look for opportunities to get more and better links. Right? So now you have like a kind of a baseline. Yeah. Yeah, so what's an average and what's a good number? That's really impossible to say in generalized terms, because if you're chasing after really long tail keywords that are not very popular and not competitive, then you could probably get away with a PageRank 3 or 4 and have only 1,000 or a couple thousand links and still get a reasonable return on your SEO investment. But if you're chasing after more competitive terms, then I'd like to see 10,000, tens of thousands of links and page ranks that are like in the 5 or 6 range or more. Compare. Well, let's look at netconcepts.com. Not that I'm bragging or anything. Entire site. Boom, 83,000. That's pretty good. And the company doesn't even exist. So, yeah, that's just something that it would be a major focus for you guys. Remember I said this briefly. There are 3 pillars to SEO: content, architecture, and links. If any of those 3 pillars is weak, you are going to have very suboptimal results. You have the best content in the world with really good keywords weaved into the copy and just fantastic content. You could have great site architecture. Could be running on a WordPress blog. I mean, that'd be fantastic site architecture, right? And if it has no links, it doesn't deserve to rank. So it's not going to rank. You could have the best links in the world. You could have a super powerful site, lots of domain authority. It's really considered important, and it's all visual. So there's no textual content to the page. You do Control-A, highlight everything on the page, and everything's a graphic on the home page. Well, clearly the architecture's messed up then. So you're missing the boat. You're not going to do well. I'm not here. Let's move on. Let's pick another site. Who wants to go next? You, right? Yep. SonyStyle.com. Holy cow, look at that URL. Yikes. Oh, that's bad. Oh, God. Yeah, WebSphere. All right, and it's going to get worse, isn't it? Let's dig in. Okay, via laptops. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's getting worse. Oh, yeah. Whew. You actually have a lot of content on the page. It was looking really bad at the beginning there when I was not scrolling yet, right? But then, yeah, there's lots of stuff in there. The thing is all the text links and the copy is way, way down screens below, right? Who's heard of this thing called it's from it's a Google patent. It's called the Reasonable Surfer patent. Who's heard of that? Okay, so I'd suggest you have a look at it, or the article that summarizes it at least. So Google Reasonable Surfer patent. One of my co-authors of my book, Eric Enga, he wrote a great article synopsizing the SEO implications of Google's Reasonable Surfer patent. The thing about patents is that this stuff's written years in the past, and only just now does it come to light. So this year it comes to light that that Google considers the likelihood that somebody's going to click on the link in determining how to weight that link. It makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? But they came up with this blinding flash of the obvious like 4 years ago when they first filed it, or 5 years ago, whenever. That means that if it's a link way buried, like in the footer or 4 screenfuls down the page, it's not likely that it's going to get clicked on by the average reasonable web surfer, and therefore should get at least partially discounted. So knowing that now, what do you think of these links that are embedded in the page? Pretty much you just have footer links as far as text links are concerned, and a smattering of links to pick a color, learn more. Who wants to rank for learn more in Google? Right, so when you link with the words learn more, and that's the only link, let's see who ranks number 1 for learn more. Learn More Indiana. Okay. So we don't want to rank for learn more. And when we link with that anchor text, we're telling Google and Bing that this is about learn more. Check out what's ranked number 1 for click here. Right? So when you say click here, oh, this is different. Adobe Acrobat Reader used to be number 1, and now it's number 2. But still, I think this proves my point that Google really strongly considers the anchor text that you use in the link with the page that you're linking to. You're not going to find the word click and the word here anywhere in the page, right? So if I click on the cached link, you'll see that there is no occurrence of the word click or here anywhere on the page. It even says so right up at the top here, except it's kind of covered up. It says right there, the words click and the word here do not appear anywhere on the page. By the way, who uses the cached link? Anyone? This is really a cool little thing. So I'm doing a search for something, like a search engine land article or something like that, or a marketing profs article. GTD marketing profs. Check this out. Here's an article I wrote about GTD. It's called Getting Things Done. Who's heard of GTD? Oh, you guys got to read this. This is so awesome. There's a book called Getting Things Done. It's a New York Times best-selling book, and this has changed my life in terms of productivity and organization and so forth. I'm slightly passionate about it. It's pretty cool. So the thing is, this is like for members only, this particular article, and wouldn't you like to see it without having to sign up? I like marketing profs. I think you should sign up. let's get that out of the way. But if you don't have the means to do it, or you don't have the time, just click on the cached link, and boom, there's the whole free article. Oh, you got to love that. Isn't that awesome? Probably Marketing Prof's not going to be happy with me. Sign up for Marketing Profs. Okay, this works for anything that's like a subscription site where they want the full content of the articles to get indexed in Google. So they let Googlebot in, grab the full content, and you too can get that full content just by clicking on the cached link. This also works for if you found that an error page shows up when you tried to find a really useful article or white paper or whatever. It's like, oh, darn it, I really wanted that. Back, cached, boom, there you go. Okay. So, back to Sony style. Should we chat with? If you had multiple links to the same page, this is not widely known, but if you had 2 links here, this is not a link. Let's pretend that it was. If Big Screen Bliss was a link and Learn More was a link, the first occurrence of the link would count on only the first occurrence in terms of the anchor text. Okay, so let me say that again, because this is really important, because most of your sites have multiple links to the same product pages. The title of the name of the product is a link, and then you have a Learn More or Read More or a Buy Now, and that's also a text link pointing to the same exact URL. Right? Who has that? A lot of you, right? Only the first one counts in terms of the anchor text. If you first had a Learn More link and then you had the name of the product, ouch. Because Learn More is the one that's going to count, not the name of the product. What I would do if I were you guys is I would think hard about what are those titles for each of these sections. What are the kind of like headlines for each of these sections? Media Frenzy, Big Screen Bliss, One Touch Treasure. Those don't mean anything from an SEO standpoint. Those aren't keywords that I'd be searching in Google for as a user, as a potential customer. And Learn More is just as bad. So I would rename those section headings, and I would make those text links. They're good keyword-rich text links. So if you want to rank for big screen laptops, or just, let's say, in this case, big screen laptop, put that in as, and change that Big Screen Bliss into big screen laptop. Make that a text link. Leads to the Read More page or the Learn More page. That's all about the fact that this is these are big screen laptops. Okay, let's go back to the home page. Are these links? Are those text links? Yes, those are text links. So I just did Control A, highlight everything on the page, including the mouse over nav. I'm going to disable JavaScript. I'm going to make sure that the navigation still loads. Oh, that's unfortunate. Oh, yeah, that's not good at all. Yeah, the URLs and now this. I feel your pain. What's that? All right. You don't actually work at Sony Style? Oh, okay. Yeah, now you work at a different department, right? You were in IT until 5 minutes ago, yeah. Okay. Okay, let's turn back on JavaScript. Another thing that I would check is what's the damage done by the URL structure, because that's really bad, right? So we want to see what our indexation looks like. Are these heinous-looking URLs getting indexed? And I'm going to just look at the www Sony Style site. You can go to your search settings and change it to 100 results per page, by the way, which is often handy when you're wanting to scan through a whole bunch of results at a time. And another thing that you should do is change your web history setting to disable customizations. I already done that. So this is important. You're going to get some results that are personalized to you because of your search history and your location. And in fact, the Google suggestions from Google Suggest, it's now part of Google Instant. Those are localized to your location and also based on search history too. When you start typing in keystrokes and it gives you suggestions, right? You've seen this, right? You've seen that? Okay. That's localized and personalized, as well as the results themselves. You don't necessarily want to see that. When you're trying to get in the SEO mode, you want to see what the world sees, or at least your typical sort of target market, right? Turn off personalization, and you can also use proxies to look at different locations, not just see the Dallas-Fort Worth area, right? So disable customizations in your web history, and then go back and do your searches again. You're not going to find that a lot of your results are going to vary because of this, but a few of them could vary quite significantly. So maybe you still get 8 or 9 of the 10 non-personalized results showing up, but then there was one that was on page 4, and because you visit that site a lot, it's been promoted to page 1 for you. You might be feeling really good that you're ranking really well, and that's just for you. Okay, so let's move on to another site. I hope I've made your colleague feel sufficiently bad. Okay, the thumbs up there, so yes. Another site, you. Shop.Callaway Golf? Okay. So why is it shop.CallawayGolf.com? Why isn't it part of the main domain name, or main subdomain of www? It's a branding site. It's anti-sales then. All right. We love those. Ooh, even better when it's a country selector. Yeah. We're selling Australia and Canada. You just want me to look at shop. Okay. I hear you. This is really tempting, though. This is really tempting. I want to go check to see if this is the country selector page is what Google sees or not. Oh, it is. Oh, God, I got to see this. This is just too good to pass up. Okay, here we go. So remember the cached trick here? Right? Here's another trick that even goes a step further. I can type in cache:/www.CallawayGolf. See, you can look like a total SEO ninja, just knowing a few of these things. You show this to your boss and say, let me show you the cached homepage of our company, cache:/CallawayGolf.com, and they're like, holy cow, you deserve a raise. How did you even know that? They'll be so excited. Yeah, that's not good. Yeah, not good at all. I wrote an article on my blog about this very issue. So country selectors, because you can do it properly. If you insist on having a country selector, your boss or whoever the powers that be really want that country selector because they want to lower their conversion rate. That's absolutely understandable. At least they should let Googlebot into the main site immediately without choosing a country. Right? So that's exactly what EMC.com does. So that's best practice. There you go. All right. You sure you want me to go back to shop.callaway-golf? Okay. All right, we'll do that then. There's another Firefox extension I'm going to mention to you guys called SEO for Firefox. Okay, and what this tool allows me to do is I can run queries on Google like shop. I'm going to do a site colon on shop.callaway-golf. Okay, now watch this. If I turn on the SEO for Firefox extension, run my search again. Look at that. Look at all that useful information it's collecting. Under each listing, it's telling me that page is Google cache date, traffic values, number of digs, and stumble-upons, and .edu links, .gov links, and so forth and so on. Isn't that cool? Now, unfortunately, it's the PageRank score that it's telling me is the PageRank of the home page. It's not doing a PageRank check of every single page on your site. But still, this is really, really handy. Now, let's pick... well, let's just talk about a couple of data points here. The Google cache date. If that's really recent, that's a good sign. Right? So each page has its own Google cache date. And if it was 3 weeks ago, that does not look good because the page wasn't important enough for Google to re-spider and re-index it recently. Okay, another thing I'll mention is the age of the domain. That's impressive. October of 1996. That shows a lot of trust and a lot of history. That's really, really good. Now you can get that sort of history and track record by just buying somebody else's domain name. So Google's onto that trick. And they don't just consider the age of the domain name, they look at the age of the site as well. Who's used the Internet Archive, the Wayback Machine? Anyone? Is this a cool tool or what? I love this tool. Whenever I'm feeling nostalgic, I'll go back and I'll like, oh, let me see what netconcepts.com looked like in 1997. Let's check this out. Is that a cool looking homepage for 1997 or what? Isn't that cool? There's no SEO, but heck, who heard of that by then? So let's put in Callaway Golf. Take me back. But it wasn't that you started in registered the domain in October of 1996 and then sat on it with a parking page or sat on it with an under construction page for 10 years. No, you actually had a real website up. So that's good. That further establishes that you have credibility and you're a trustworthy website. Okay, let's look at a few other data points here. You can see the number of delicious bookmarks. You have 13 delicious bookmarks to shop.callawaygolf.com. It's kind of small, but it's better than nothing. This is called SEO for Firefox. It's from SEO Book. So I've got tools.seobook.com. So they have the SEO for Firefox extension. They have the SEO toolbar, the keyword tool, the rank checker, hub finder, Bunch of cool stuff. Some of it's paid tools. You have to have an account on their training site. Duplicate content checker, website health check, some cool stuff. There's so many tools. I mean, you can really get overwhelmed with the tools. It's not about the tools. It's about the strategies. Strategies will always win over tactics. Always. Okay, so if you're thinking tactically about 301 redirects and URL structure and stuff like that, you're kind of missing the boat. I'm trying to show you a bunch of really cool take-home tomorrow or end of the week sort of tips, tricks, tools that you can make some easy tweaks to your site, fix some things, get some nice uplift in your SEO. But if you also think strategically about SEO, and I'll give you a couple of examples. So with you guys, with Callaway Golf, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that you need to fix in terms of like integrating the two sites together and really leveraging the branding site for driving sales and stuff like that. I'm not going to go into that hornet's nest, but I will go into a few kind of crazy ideas for you for improving your overall link authority. Thinking out of the box, like thinking out of the box in a way that just turns your site into a link magnet. Let me give you an example or two. There's a site called lifeinsure.com that ranks really well in Bing and Yahoo for life insurance. Let me show you that first. And they did rank on page 1 for years, literally for years, in Google for life insurance. It's really impressive. But there's still, I mean, look at this. Let me turn off the SEO for Firefox. Did I mention it also works on Bing? Look at that. Who's heard of lifeinsure.com? They're like, nobody. Tiny little company. It's just a broker. And yet, he is so punching above his weight. Right up there with MetLife, with Wikipedia, with State Farm, with Northwestern Mutual. Just really, really impressive. And was just killing it in Google for years. And it's all because of a particular link bait campaign or series of campaigns. Their biggest one was 19 things you didn't know about death. And here you can see, after being decapitated, the average person remains conscious for an additional 15 to 20 seconds. Aren't you glad you knew that? Who would buy life insurance after reading this article? Nobody. But that wasn't the point. The point was to get Dig users to notice this article and dig it, vote it up to the front page, Dig, get a huge torrent of traffic, and in with those 16-year-old alpha geeks are also some bloggers and some journalists who will link to this article. You know, we're reaching the linkerati, and they will link to this because they love this stuff. All this link juice then flows to the homepage of lifeinsure.com, to the instant term life quotes page, to the instant return on premium quotes page, to the universal life quotes page, the whole life quotes page. Do you see what they're doing here? They are just a magnet for link juice coming into this page that they do not link to from anywhere on their site. You will never find this article by clicking around on their site. Never. I mean, why would they highlight this article to a customer that they're trying to sell life insurance to? It would be insane, right? So they are going to hide that this article ever existed from their customers by not linking to it anywhere, and then all this inbound link juice flowing into this page because people found it on Dig, they found it on other people's blogs who found out about it originally from Dig. So this big follow-on effect, right? Spreading through the blogosphere, or the viral spread of this particular article, all flows into their main website, to lifeinsure.com, and they capitalize on that by linking back to their homepage and to a bunch of important pages with really strong anchor text. And by the way, they probably did not have the instant term life quotes and instant return on premium quotes, all those different text links. They did not have those originally when the article published on and got dug. Okay, so 24 or 48 hours later, remove all those, all the geeky like links to Make Magazine and Linux operating system and stuff like that, make you look really like in with the dig nerds. Remove those and then put all these commercial links in because all the dig users are gone, right? And now you're flowing that page rank to these great commercial pages, commercial landing pages, selling your stuff. Okay? So that is a very powerful strategy. Here's another one. Let's say you wanted to rank for business cards. And we're going to come back to Callaway Golf and how you can do this too. Look at that. Number 2 is overnightprints.com. They were nowhere before we did this campaign for them. So I'm friends with a famous blogger named Jeremy Shoemaker. His blog is a Technorati 100 blog. It's called shoemoney.com. He's like an internet marketing rock star. He's famous for holding up a Google AdSense check, there it is, of him with $132,000 check from Google. And that pales in comparison to the kind of money he's made since. Yes, he is a rock star. And because of my relationship with him, I was able to get him to run a contest on his blog for our client Overnight Prints, or former client, since I'm a free agent now. But let me do this. I'm going to search for business cards for life. Let's do free business cards for life. Okay, here's the contest. Notice the contest entry page is on the company's site, not on the Shoe Money blog, but it's on overnightprints.com. The contest name has business cards in it, business cards for life contest. It got some really nice links from not only shoemoney.com, which has a lot of authority, but also a bunch of design sites picked up on the contest and wrote about it and linked to it. And let me show you what happened on shoemoney.com. Here's the entry on his blog announcing the contest. This contest was back in May of last year. And you can see they're still writing on the success with number 2 ranking in Google for business cards. And this contest is long over. The beauty of this contest, it was like dirt cheap to run. Not only did Shoe Money do this contest for free with us, but also the grand prize was simply free business cards for life, up to 1,000 business cards per year, up to 20 years. I think I have enough money in my wallet right now to cover that, so it's like dirt cheap. And let's see what the winning entries look like. Here's some of the finalists. Now, I have to say that the winning entry was beautiful. It was a really, really cool business card. Jeremy loved it. He was not that happy with his business card before, so when we came to him with this contest idea, he was like, wow, that's awesome. That's a really cool idea. So he wins, the community wins, somebody, a grand prize winner wins, our client wins, everybody wins. It's awesome. Here's the winning entry. Does that look cool or what? That is a cool business card. So Jeremy is all about the bling, and he's got American Express black card and everything. So having a really cool business card like this, oh yeah, he loved that. So you just got to think out of the box. Do you see how this strategy stuff works? Social media is not if you are not doing a social media strategy that is at least driven by SEO, if not the major component, you are completely missing the boat. because that is where the real ROI is. I'm not discouraging you from building relationships and rapport with your customers through Twitter and so forth. Do that. That's great. Also, answer your phones when they call your customer service line and be polite and stuff like that. Yes, do that. But social media without SEO underpinning it is just like, no, I'm not going to use an inappropriate expression, but it's like something in the wind. Okay, so don't do that. Okay. Callaway Golf. Right. So it was about the link value from shoemoney.com, from the design sites that picked up the contest and wrote about it, and from ShoeMoney's followers who link to the contest as well. But there weren't as many of those folks as the design sites that linked to the contest. Yep, good question. So. Just in general terms, a contest can be really successful, but you have to deal with the details. The devil's in the details, right? The Intuit tax wrap contest. Who's heard of this contest? Anyone? Yeah, a few of you. This was a few years ago. It was a brilliant contest. They got the details right. And guess who the spokesperson was they got for this? Oh yeah, Vanilla Ice. No, he's not dead.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Tax Rap. I'm Vanilla Ice. Thanks for posting all your great rap demos.
Okay, so what they did, this was sheer brilliance, right? Seth Greenberg at Intuit, who kind of dreamed this up. So they flew to Vanilla Ice's home in Florida and they bought an hour of his time. And it was cheap to buy that time, apparently. Seth wouldn't go into any detail on that, but trust me, it was inexpensive. And in fact, Vanilla Ice was having so much fun, he gave them an extra hour or two of time. So they shot the video of him introducing the contest. They shot video of him introducing the winner, even though they didn't know who the winner was going to be. So you'll see that the winning entry, he's like doing this little intro of the winning entry, but he never mentions who it is.
Here it
Brilliant.
is, right now. No further ado, check it out.
Yeah. See, he didn't say
I
who it
used
was.
to toil all day and wake up at night, breaking out in a sweat because my taxes weren't right. You see, I had a lot of jobs in 2006. I was a busboy, a mechanic, and I had a dog that did tricks. And every time it was a time for me reclaiming my tips, I'd be straight out of my mind with tax arithmetic. I'm now online with TurboTax. It was 1, 2, 3 clicks now. So if you need $1, holla, cause I got a lot back.
Okay, everybody stand up. Come on, seriously, stand up. You guys are falling asleep. Keep the music cranking. Okay, kind of move your body here. Come on. This is a rap song. Come on, let's get down.
Step 1, use a mouse and glue your eyes to the screen. Step 2, put your numbers into the number
move your body at least a little bit.
I don't know, player.
Nobody's filming you.
TurboTax got my back. Secure with your jump. Maximize deductions. Use all TurboTax's functions. In SUS 9 days, you get some greenbacks for fun.
See, now, this was a brilliantly executed contest. Some really great entries. I mean, this was the grand prize winner, won 25 grand, but there were almost as good quality of videos that were second, third, and fourth place and so forth. They basically captured the attention not only of the entrants, but also their entire communities. Because this was done on YouTube, they bought a branded channel, a contest channel, they bought some homepage, YouTube homepage visibility as well. So this was a big splash in a very massive online community site, right? So YouTube is the #2 search engine. has more queries than Yahoo, has more queries than Bing. It is number 2 as far as search queries go. Very popular. And it's got all the social networking capabilities that you'd find in a typical social media site. Favorites, friending, comments, video replies, all that sort of stuff baked in to the platform. So it has viral capabilities in ways that you would not be able to achieve just by hosting your videos on your own servers. Okay. If you are not producing videos that end up on YouTube as well as your website, you're missing the boat, because then you do not capture the viral. You're not leveraging the viral capabilities of YouTube. So, what else did they do? They and here's the thing about this, is that with having YouTube subscribers, basically anybody who posted a video, right, so like that winner, the grand prize winner, he posts that video, and he's got a following of YouTube users, right, on his channel, subscribers to his channel, and suddenly they see this rap music video of him rapping about TurboTax software. Talk about awesome brand impressions. Just imagine taking that a step further, and then you hand-pick, recruit certain big YouTube users who have a big following with lots of subscribers on their channels, right? Just think of the power if you get one of those people to submit a contest entry. You're reaching their entire audience. Yes? Yes. YouTube does get all the inbound links, and they don't pass that PageRank on to the end destination of the microsite that you've built or whatever. So what you can do is you can include a URL in the description portion of a YouTube video, and that gets converted into a clickable link. Who knew that? Who knew that? Okay, so that's a useful little tip there. Put it towards the beginning of the description so that they don't have to click on the more link to see the full description before they can see that there's a clickable link there. But that's a no-followed link, so you're not going to get PageRank from that link. But that's not really the point. It's like I want to leverage that community, build a follower base, and then I want to push people to a microsite or whatever. Just like with Dig, I'm trying to get in front of folks who are going to link to my microsite, contest, whatever it is. And so I'm looking for linkerati, I'm looking for bloggers, journalists, and so forth. Okay, so that's where, like, the Will It Blend contest, or not contest, the Will It Blend campaign from BlendTech, they did it really well in terms of all those videos went onto YouTube where they got lots of views and lots of viral spreading and all that. Very good. They also built a microsite and promoted that microsite. For a while, they actually made their username willitblend.com. Brilliant. So you see that right there, willitblend.com. If I'm a journalist writing about this crazy video thing of this guy blending up iPhones and stuff, where am I going to link to in my article? Rather than a bunch of URLs that are on YouTube, I'd prefer to link to one microsite for the that's built by the company with all the videos in one place. So when I see that as the YouTube username, willitblend.com, or I see a link in the description, I'm going to use it. So excellent question. So how are we doing for time here? So we're ending at 3:45. We got 45 minutes left. And how do you guys feel about taking a break? Because I can keep you guys going here for the next 45 minutes, or we could take, let's say, a 5-minute break. Who wants to take a 5-minute break? And we'll be back in 5 minutes. If we did, like, this is a commitment. Raise your hand high if you're committing to being back. Okay. Who doesn't want to take a break and just wants to plow through this for 45 minutes? Who, like, is completely checked out? Okay. All right, we'll take a 5-minute break. I'm serious. This is 4 minutes and 59 seconds, and if you're a second late, I'm going to have you on stage. Uh-huh. How did I pick eating bird food? Well, I'm a vegetarian, so I was drawn to it. No, I don't subscribe to it, but when I was digging through the results, looking at site colon, WordPress.com, that one attracted my attention. Seems like a pretty cool blog. Why do you know? Oh, yeah? You know the blogger personally? Oh, funny. It's a small world. Okay, thanks for coming back. So back to Callaway Golf and how this all applies to them, because we need to get really creative right now and come up with some amazing link bait that will draw in folks to link to the Callaway Golf, whatever it is, contest, widget, tool, link bait article. Okay, so let's get creative. This is audience participation time. I need you guys to come up with some really crazy ideas for widgets, link bait articles, etc. I'm not going to do all the work up here by myself. Yeah. A link bait article, that would be like the 19 things you didn't know about death, or 100 top beers from around the world, or 7 funniest shoe commercials ever made, you know, those sorts of things. Yep, so I need some ideas. Yes? Tell us the story of your best golf shot ever. Yep. You could even do like a video contest of people submitting their golf swings, right? Or golf bloopers. You could pick golf bloopers that actually aired on live TV and ended up on YouTube, right? The 7 funniest or 10 funniest golf bloopers, and you just pick stuff from the U.S. Open and, you know, LPGA tournaments and all that sort of stuff. Yep. Pick your favorite Tiger Woods mistress. Wow. I like how you think. That's good. That one has legs. Oh, that was a pun. Oh my God. Yeah, that has potential. Do you feel like you guys could get that edgy? No. Like, no way. Not going to happen. Okay. How about the... I like Tiger Woods. You know, he's had some good buzz as of late. Not all positive, but you know, let's see if we could ride on that. So something Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods classic golf moments, right? Or Tiger Woods, the Good Samaritan, right? And so you pick different things where he's done some really cool things, like for charities or helped people out, and you know, really cool, really out of the normal sphere of activities, like not just writing a check to the local charity, but really amazing things he's done. What was it? Is another idea? All right, so have him do critiques of golf swings. Yep. Oh, okay, so he does a video, a critique of different golf swings. That's good, yeah. You know, you can actually, here's a really cool secret, and you can't tell anyone. Oh, wait, this is being filmed. Okay, I'll tell you anyways. There's a company called Brand Affinity Technologies that you can use. It's like a clearinghouse for celebrities, and this includes sports celebrities. This is applicable to every one of you guys. If you had a celebrity that resonated with your target audience and you didn't have to pay a fortune for them, they actually have like 3 tiers of pricing. And I'm not getting anything from recommending these guys, but $3,000 is a month is their like starting point, and then there's another tier, I forget what it is, and then there's like $15,000 a month for like their top tier. So if you can get some pretty good celebrities, recognizable folks, even at that $3,000 a month tier. So they're like delis in New York that have like this relatively well-known player from the Yankees, big life-size cutout picture of the player with his signature, and he's holding a hoagie, right, or a sub sandwich. It's like, that's really cool. That can be as cheap as like, $3,000 a month. Isn't that cool? And remember the success that Intuit had because they had Vanilla Ice. It wasn't expensive, but it was a recognized name, and it added that hook to the contest, that viral hook. It's really critical. So if you can think of some sort of a hook like that and bring in a celebrity to help endorse it. A lot of times what will happen with this brand affinity technologies is a celebrity will sign a deal, and it's like a multi-year deal or whatever, and then they'll hit it big after they've signed the deal and they're committed to being at that tier level, and then their team won the Super Bowl, or they won a big whatever, right? So now they're a big name and they can command a lot more, but they're on the hook to abide by their contract. So there you go. Any other ideas? How about personality quizzes, personality tests? There's some really popular ones out there, like what superhero am I? What would be another one? How many 5-year-olds I can take on in a fight? Have you guys seen that one? Yeah, that one's pretty crazy. How many 5-year-olds can I take in a fight? I'm not suggesting that you do that. But this is a really clever brand affinity technologies. Okay, I think I'm finding it here. There, that's the one I was looking for. Look at that. It cracks me up. I have fairly good reach. Balance is average. How high can you kick? 2 to 3 feet? I don't know. I haven't tried. I'm tall. Darn it. I'm too honest. Okay. Do you have any martial arts experience? Not really. I took a Tai Chi class once. That probably doesn't count. How many fights have you been in? Okay, I don't know. I was a little kid. I got a couple fights, I think. Do you have any experience fighting swarms, such as being chased by a bunch of pissed off bees? No, actually. Have you ever been trampled? Thankfully not. If desperate in a fight, would you resort to biting and or eye gouging? Oh, no, I guess not. To hell with morality. I'd be too busy pile driving, crane kicking, and bare knuckle bashing them all the way to the kindergarten. Gosh, okay. Well, let's see, whatever. All right, all done? How many? What's my score? I could take on 13 5-year-olds in a fight. Now look at that. They even handily give me the HTML code I can copy and paste into my blog or MySpace page or whatever. Isn't that cool? In a creepy sort of way. And oh, it gets better. Wait, I got to be sure to take the test on what would your body taste like to a cannibal. So would that too edgy for you? Yeah, too edgy. Okay. Maybe we could do something though where it's like a personality test based on what celebrity golf hero are you, right? Are you Tiger Woods? Are you Jack Nicklaus? Are you Arnold Palmer? That'd be pretty cool, right? Hey, I like that one. Okay, if you run with that one, I want a royalty. Okay, so let's pick another site. We really got to keep moving. We're 33 minutes to the end here. So you, way in the back. Charbroil or broiled? With a D. No D.